All right, we're here with the team. Number two in the standings, maybe number one in your hearts. It's Kyland and Taylor. And how you guys doing?
I was waiting for the bell. Where's the bell?
Like you got it.
Oh, I didn't hear it. It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. We're good. We're doing, you're doing as well as you can the day after you watch yourself lose $1 million. So, how do
Well,
you
well, now you
feel?
know how it feels,
Oh, yeah,
Taylor.
you do know how it feels.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how we're feeling. It's rough, and I think that that's the hard part is that you want to be so grateful for being here. You want to be grateful for the opportunity to play the game and to do as well as we did. But we don't do these games because we're not competitive people. Like
Sure.
that's yeah, losing sucks.
Okay. So, so tell us how you're feeling after that. I know that this was a race that was emotional at times, and there were a lot of like heated moments. Like, how are we feeling today now everybody has seen it?
Welcome to the experience that we had 6 months ago. I don't know. It's weird. This is the most, Kylan, you've experienced this. My first time watching back a show that happened what feels like an eternity ago. About to go literally a year ago ish today, maybe like off by a month or so. This is around the time where would have been gearing up to go. So I don't know. It's weird, kind of being sucked back into a conversation that happened and was put to bed forever ago. But when you open up conversations to the general population, they have the reactions, and we have our personal reactions as well. So it's just like figuring out how to navigate that for the first time.
Yeah, how is that different from when you were on Big Brother? Obviously, you didn't know what was happening with the viewers and how people were receiving you, but you've gotten to experience all of this by watching yourselves back and watching people watch you back. How has that been different?
I guess that's a me question again, because Kylan, you've done it
Mhm.
what, 2, 3 times. Different in the way where um it's like I go on TV not to participate in conversations about myself, right? And so I had to kind of tell myself it's not my job to enter the conversations that people want to have about me. It's literally my job to go compete, potentially win some money and pick up a check along the way. And of course, I'm a very like defensive person. I'm a multifaceted person. You'll always want to get in the conversation and defend yourself or add your 2 cents here or there. But at the end of it, the actual job that I have when it comes to reality TV, competing on reality TV, is to provide really good content. And I guess that might be something that I do pretty well. I don't know. You tell me.
I think also the difference that I had that was unique was navigating such a vulnerable part of my life in terms of like because it's with someone else. Like I've been vulnerable on these shows, whether willingly or not, that has happened. But being here with Taylor and we have this ongoing on and off relationship that we've been navigating pretty privately. I think that was such a layer to the experience that was new, and it was hard because we get on. First off, we've been private, so then people are like, "Oh, this is like a fake relationship for the race," and we're like, "Okay, we're navigating, one of like the most vulnerable part of our life, and then we have this critique that is trying to invalidate us in this malicious way." Just because they don't have all the details or understanding of where we're at or where we've been at different times, and it's like, oh, this timeline doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, of course you don't know the timeline. We haven't shared it with you, and we're not going to because we're navigating our own situation ourselves. So while we are grateful for the platform and we understand that brings in people's insights from the outside, it doesn't, obligate us to share anything more than what we want to share with the public. I think, people's relationships is
Yeah.
something they have to do on their own.
Right. Who cares? I mean, this isn't The Bachelor. Like, your partner's on The Amazing Race. Like, nobody else has to go through a purity test of like, well, how well do you know that person to go on The Amazing Race together? So that's fine. I would love to know a little bit more about like everything with the gentleman's agreement, and then I feel like there's a couple. It's like a layered issue because that there are questions about are all of the challenges, fair to all of the different teams that are there in terms of there being a lot of strength-based challenges. But then there's also like the telephone game of some he said, she said of who heard what when. Now that you two have had the chance to watch all of the episodes back, is there any sort of like, do you feel differently about any of the things that you were feeling during the race?
No. Well, here's as far as like the gentleman's agreement of it all, it's like those words didn't come from nowhere. This is something that we were told in the airport on the way to Croatia. And then there's no footage. Well, there is footage of that, but that part wasn't shown. So for that to be edited into who's Eric and Jazz overheard Kyland and Taylor walking by, and that's what made everyone question each other. It's like, no, that's not the conversation that made everybody wonder what's going on here. There was a whole fight that happened at the U-turn vote over something that was incorrectly overheard while we were in those like overnight trailers
Well,
in
Jag and Jazz mentioned
We just
that.
heard about that, yeah.
They said that they heard through the thin metal walls that you two were talking about how you should be U-turning the two men teams. But to me, I mean, I feel like that
Wait,
seems pretty sound. I
because they're
mean,
downstairs. I'll go grab them right now because they have been very consistent in like recognizing that there was a misinterpretation of what was said.
I wish
And
I could
that's
play the
what
clip
fight
back
was
for you.
at, that's what the fight was at the U-turn. So it's
Yeah.
like Kylan literally says, like, so you're infallible. You can't possibly be wrong about what you think you heard. And they said, no, we know what we heard. And I'm like, well, that's not what you heard. So that's what
But
even just a slice of the U-turn vote
yeah,
conversation.
not to even like get into like who said what, but isn't that the right move to make to try to U-turn those guys if they're really good at the
Yeah,
challenges and
it is the right it's the right thing to make, but also we're looking at a season of people who know each other and have really strong relationships. And
Mhm.
like, you know, say what you want as a viewer of competition reality shows. We all have really strong, intimate, unique relationships with each other. There's a lot of things that you want to do to either like sometimes you want to advance people's causes, you don't want to hurt some people. Like it's complex. And that's what good TV is. It's emotional, it's raw, it's complex, but I think, you know, us not winning means that some of those really more nuanced or vocally expressed takes of I feel like I'm making a hard decision that doesn't make sense. When I say I feel like I'm doing something that doesn't make sense, I'm having trouble making these decisions, but I have to because it's for our game to move us forward. For Team Purple, that's not going to be shown in the edit. Understandably so, because it's not the story of how Kylan and Taylor won the Amazing Race.
Mhm.
Well, I think more than that too, you're asking about like the equitability of like the race as a whole. I think the race has overall done a really good job historically with being able to make things more equitable for men and women that are participating. I think that's why the most of the teams who win have been that male female split teams. It just maybe it's post COVID, who knows? Maybe it's changes that we have just noticed. We have this series of back to back to back to back male team competitors that are winning the seasons. So I think that in general, it's something they do really well. I feel like, we have the opening episode of the season. Feels like we have this European adventure, more running than ever. Like that's what they said, and that's what it felt like. And so we just were observing these different changes. So I think there's that whole side of it as far as like that part of the question. And then as far as the navigating the he said, she said, or, we're trying to navigate so many things internally, mentally, emotionally. We have this first Sikh Punjabi team, we have the Filipino team, we have the Palestinian team, all these people that we're super close to. So we can talk about these things without having to use our game to move those things forward. I've played a game where I'm making these sacrifices for a cause. That's not what I'm here to do today. Here, we are playing the game to win. So we can care about these things and talk about these things without making our game decisions based on those things.
Well, Kylan, I have a related question for you, or semi-related, I guess, because I really wanted to ask you about your neurodivergence and how that may have played a role for better or for worse in your performance on the race. Like, how were you able to like use your ADHD as a superpower, for example?
Yeah, I mean, for the Amazing Race, it's a very not social game. Yes, we have the U-turn vote. Yes, like teams are helping each other here and there, but at the end of the day, like you just have to, it's you and your partner. You got to complete that task. So, how did it help with performing in that sense? Amazingly, like both ADHD and like the way that I can move between tasks and just the way that I can take in a lot of information. The traits that come forward with my own autism, like incredibly beneficial. And even with the communication, that's what is unfortunate. What Taylor mentioned is that like, they're not, even though they're asking a lot of questions about our relationship, we're not getting to see that. So we have I have, such an awareness, and we may speak directly, but we would have conversations about like, hey, we need to make sure that like we are, speaking directly to save time and be efficient on things. And we need to voice when we're frustrated. So like we would have conversations in the car or wherever that's just like, hey, I'm really frustrated right now, just so you know. And so that's the lens I'm speaking through. And those sort of caveats, disclaimers aren't necessarily shown. So I'd say for me as a competitor, this is probably the game where my neurodivergence was the most beneficial and least detrimental as far as being shown through the TV edit, possibly the place where it's most detrimental. So actually, but not the place, but and to be clear, it's always like it's never an excuse. Like I'm the first person, biggest advocate to say like no one should ever use like diagnosing excuse, and I'm pretty intentional about that. I think that that's really where I get more passionately frustrated is when people misinterpret like, hey, I'm explaining something about how I talk, and they're like, oh, they're using it as an excuse because that's never been the case.
It's a reason, not an excuse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taylor, I want to ask you about a moment from the finale when you said to Kyland, okay, Kyland, today is the day that you become a champion. And I am just interested to know about that as somebody who has won Big Brother, is that like what you're telling yourself, like in the late days of Big Brother before you go on to win? Are you like visualizing the win and then you're getting Kyland to like see it like you are?
I would walk by the final two seats that entire last 2 weeks. I saw exactly the seat that I was sitting in. I saw Julie saying my name on like a key holding it up. Couldn't have predicted the backyard win, but yeah, like visualizing it. And I don't want to get all, like woo-woo manifestation, but for morale,
Yeah.
for like having good energy to propel you forward, it's a really, really big indicator. And for the record, I didn't intentionally sit in that seat on finale night. Production comes over the phone, the PA, and it's like, okay, Taylor, you sit here, and Monty, you sit here. And I sat in that seat. I was like, no fucking way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, and even I have the luxury, like the padding of being like, however this goes, I already won. I've got a nice little nest egg, and like I know what the glory and all that feels like. And there's that. And then there's also having somebody who, frankly, is better at individual competitions than I am. Kyland is like a super competitor, right? He deserves to feel that glory just as much as I do. And I was just so excited to do that together.
Yeah.
Like I just really was so ready to share that together. And it might not have been this time, but season 40 is coming up.
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe
hey,
that.
it wasn't your time, but Kylan, who knows? Your time is gonna come.
And there's
Yeah.
always Survivor, right?
I don't know about
Yeah.
that, but yeah, I think that she was very conscious about that, and that was, at times like a sensitive subject because it's just like, hey, like this is different for me because of that. But then I know it's also important to you. I know you also care about me, so trying to balance all those feelings, is tough, like especially in the moment, like when we get there. So I think that that's. Yeah, I really one thing I will say for my own like woo-woo side is I'm really good at like future casting in the terms of like putting myself forward. Like, okay, I look forward 3 years from now. Because right now I look back and I'm like, everything that bad happened, I'm really happy that those things happened because I'm happy right now. So I do the same thing in the future and I'm like, dang, something really cool must be happening because I feel so bad right now. And for me to be thankful for this, there's something really amazing happening. So I have the optimism. I wouldn't say I have that feeling right now as much as I have that mental awareness of it. Right now, still a little bit in the down, but overall, I'm excited. I'm grateful.
He's way better than me. I'm like, I don't want anything negative ever happening. I could be up on top of the mountain. And I'm like, and I still wish that didn't happen.
Is there anything else that you two want people to know?
Like what? Sorry,
Yeah,
I
like,
mean,
well,
is there
my
anything?
brain.
I
I don't
listen.
know.
Like
So
you have your
broad.
own platforms. You can get anything out. But as far as like people listening to this, is there anything else that from your story, from the race, from what they saw?
Um, I guess the touch on a relationship, something that we both get asked a lot is like, was it fake? How did this happen? You guys just faked it for the show, and it's something that really hurts both of us because we've been so protective of our relationship for so long, and you know, to have like the most private and most sensitive thing be, you know, questioned and criticized in a way of it being disingenuous, it's like, oh, that hurts. So, you know, we got a call, asked if we could do it together, was told no. Couple months later, we broke up. 15 minutes after breaking up, got a phone call saying, hey, what's going on with the two of you? I think I can get them to be open to you being on it together. And
All right, that's the universe.
yeah.
Yeah, and navigating it has been an ongoing thing. I would say to one thing that I want people to understand and to recognize is that, like, and especially, and Taylor included, is just how, you know, incredible she was on this race. Like, yeah, like I'm good at a lot of different tasks or whatever, and she would make the comparison of like not, you know, holding her weight or being carried, or people online say something like that, and I'm like, no, like you guys don't understand. Like, it's not, being a good partnership isn't about us both doing the same things. Both is doing the same things. It's about us both doing 100% of our efforts in the things that are our role, the things that we're supposed to
Yeah.
do. And
Listen,
she did that so
ignore
well
those
throughout.
people. I think a lot of them are bots anyway. It's not even real people.
For
Okay,
sure,
just
but
yeah,
sometimes I hear her question it, and
yeah.
I hate that. And so anyone that isn't a bot, I'm like, stop it, because you don't understand how incredible, you know, this woman is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You got
Would
a
love
problem with Kyland, you got a problem with me.
Okay. All right. Would love to chat more, but I know you got to run. Thank you both so much. Congratulations on a great race. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I like your background, it's purple.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.